What's up, guys? This is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. Got a few things I want to get out and talk about while we're on here. Happy Thursday, everybody! Obviously, it's Thursday, so we got a Thursday night game going on. Kansas City Chiefs versus the LA Chargers. Both teams, divisional teams, obviously, both fighting for a playoff spot. The Chiefs look like they're obviously going to go to the playoffs. They look like they're back in action. Look like they're back to their former selves after last week's game. They had a phenomenal game. Right now, they lead 10-0 in the second quarter. So it's looking pretty good for them as of right now. But obviously, want to get into a few things. So today, interesting reports out of the Eagles NovaCare complex. Out of the Philadelphia Eagles camp. Second day in a row, quarterback Jalen Hurts was limited at practice again with the same ankle injury that he injured against the New York Giants a couple of weeks ago. Guys, why is this interesting? Well, it's interesting because we got a big game coming up. We got a big game coming up against one of our division rivals in the Washington football team. Is Gardner Minshew going to play again? We don't know. Kind of the discussion coming out of Nick Sirianni's mouth, press conferences, was something along the lines of I'll say what I said last week. I won't know until it's time, until game day, pretty much, when if Jalen can go or not. So it looks like, guys, that the signs are kind of pointing to Jalen's gonna be Jalen's questionable for Sunday. Jalen Hurts is questionable for Sunday's game against the Washington football team, which is kind of big news in the sense that Jalen Hurts is supposed to be the guy who's getting this full season as to audition for the starting role moving forward. And obviously seasons beyond this season and things like that, to see what he can become, see what he can do, see what his progression and development are gonna be like, or what they could possibly be indicative of moving forward. But if he can't go again against the Washington football team in what is supposed to be a big game, then obviously Gardner Minshew is going to get the start, and we're going to get to see what Gardner Minshew can possibly bring to the offense once again for the second week in a row. Now, obviously, we did see what he was able to bring to the offense, against the New York Jets, and again, that is the New York Jets. But against a team like Washington football team, if Gardner Minshew goes and Gardner Minshew shows us something kind of reminiscent of what he did against the New York Jets, then there's some things to feel good about. There's some things to feel good about. Other limited players on the injury report so far this week have been Miles Sanders, have been Jordan Howard as well. My hope is that we get both guys back in time for Sunday. I really want to see Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders on the field together in the game, starting together and finishing the game strong together. I think that having both of those running backs are absolutely, a phenomenal pairing. We know that. We know what both are capable of doing. We know what both bring to the table, bring to the team, bring to the offense, first and foremost, especially Jordan Howard, especially the way that he has kind of sparked the offense this season. So we kind of miss him. He's kind of been he's kind of been the fan favorite this season, and we kind of want him. We definitely want to see Jordan Howard back and healthy, as soon as we can. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Guys, here's the thing. I'm not against, as far as Jalen Hurts being questionable going into Sunday's game this week. I'm not against I wouldn't be against Gardner Minshew starting again for the second week in a row. I wouldn't be against it. But I do kind of want to see Jalen Hurts come back. I want to see Jalen Hurts come back and have a bounce back, show what he can do. I want to see, and it's not even necessarily, at this point, it's not necessarily like, I'm not, it's not out of out of fandom. It's not that. I want my result. You know what I mean? I want my questions to be answered. And the thing is, and the reason why I say that is because I think the Washington football team game is the Philadelphia Eagles Washington football team game is a big one. It's a big one. It's a divisional game. It's there's a lot. The stakes are high. It's to fight for the 7th seed playoff spot. So the other thing too is it brings up more questions. It brings up everybody kind of wants to put the puzzle pieces together, try to figure out, well, what is the front office up to? What are the head honchos of this organization really up to? And it doesn't help us figure out that puzzle. It doesn't help us figure out that puzzle. And the reason is because there are some that believe that Jalen Hurts being in there is good news. And I'm sure there are some that think that putting Gardner Minshew in there is good news. Do they want to lose or do they want to win? Because if we put Gardner Minshew in there and we win, then that means that we're still winning. Do we want to go to the playoffs, or do we not want to go to the playoffs? That's the big question. The other big news, obviously, speaking of quarterbacks, speaking of guys that Howie Roseman has kept his eyes on throughout the season, as far as quarterback prospects are concerned, Kenny Pickett has declared for the 2022 NFL draft. Kenny Pickett is a guy that I'm going to keep my eyes on, guys. Obviously a Heisman Trophy runner-up this season, and I don't think he's getting as much recognition as he deserves from the general public. I think this guy's got a lot of talent. I think he's got a lot of skills. I think he's being underrated due to the fact of the draft class that he is coming out of, that he's coming into. I think the thing with Kenny Pickett is he is a bit older, and I mean, if you gave him another year, which of course you wouldn't, but if you did, he'd probably be up there around the at the top of the first round, something along those lines. And he might be, and he might be up there this year. See, here's my thing. Here's what I've always said. Here's what I've said all along to everybody who's had this discussion with me is there's a lot of opportunities that these quarterback draft prospects are going to be able to increase their draft stock between now and then. They're going to have a ton of opportunities between now and the draft in April to increase their draft stock. So watch out for Kenny Pickett. Should the Philadelphia Eagles make that move, though? That's the thing. It's interesting because there are some out there, bringing this back to Jalen Hurts. There are some out there who believe that, well, we didn't develop him right. We didn't, and so now it's all screwed up. And, because obviously the first 7 weeks of the season, the Eagles were very pass happy. There was one game where we only had three rushing attempts between all the backs, between all the running backs. And, the offense was a complete mess for the first 7 weeks of the season. Here's the thing. Obviously you have an owner and you have a GM who wants to be able to pass the ball. And so they're going to throw the guy in the fire and see what he can do when you're trying to find out if he can bite, if he can grab if he can grab the reins and survive, last time they did that, they did it with Carson Wentz, and in 2016, Carson, Doug's reason for doing that with Carson was, you want to give a guy as many reps as you possibly can, and the more reps he has, the more he's going to be able to learn. They threw it. Carson had almost 550 pass attempts in his rookie season. So, that was that idea. But there are some that believe, they should have started off the season with a heavy rushing attack, and that is the way that you should have developed Jalen Hurts. Where here's the thing. They're doing it now. Yeah, you started to see him get a little bit better. You started to see him get a little bit better when we started running the ball a little bit more. Is that Jalen Hurts getting a little bit better, or is that defenses having to respect a different aspect of it, of the offense? That's the thing. That's the thing. Is that Jalen Hurts? Is that Jalen Hurts getting better? Or is that the defense? Is that the opposing defense is having to respect a different aspect of the offense? So Jalen Hurts has more opportunity has a higher success rate of completing shorter passes or something along those lines. Me, after watching the game against the Giants, his horrible game against the Giants, I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to say that I think it's the fact that the defenses have been focusing on the run game more often. It wasn't necessarily that Jalen got better when we started running the ball more. It was just that they stopped really paying attention to the pass. So when Jalen did pass, he got his opportunities, and it looked okay. That's all that I'm saying. But again, you still need your guy to be able to pass the ball. So my eyes are on Kenny Pickett, honestly. I've made up my mind, guys. I think that's where I'm at. I've made up my mind, and if Jalen Hurts turns that corner, we're more than halfway into the season. I mean, we're going into week 15 here. If Jalen Hurts magically turns that corner as a passer, then you can tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me I was wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. And so I've got my eyes on Kenny Pickett because I think he's going to be a stud. And to back that up, I was one of the ones after Josh Allen's rookie season who said, I actually like that guy. I do. A lot of people were a mixed bag about Josh Allen after his rookie season. He had like a 56% completion percentage, something along those lines. People were saying that he seemed streaky, but I saw a guy who could move around in the pocket, was quick, had a bullet for an arm, threw with accuracy when he was decisive. And I believe that he was going to be a stud. I feel the same way about Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett can be a Josh Allen type of quarterback. So I've got my eyes on Kenny Pickett. I don't think that, Gardner Minshew is somebody, that's going to that's going to represent this franchise moving forward. I think the Philadelphia Eagles' best bet is, and obviously we're going to talk about this a lot moving forward because, we still got the rest of the season and we're going to have plenty of opportunity to continue to talk about this. But that's where my mind's at. My mind is starting to go there. We're going to start including that shit into the streams because this team has a lot to do. They have a lot to do. They have a lot that they need to focus on. They need to focus on the defensive line. They need to focus on defense, linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks. What are they going to do with Steven Nelson? Da 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 da. And then they gotta still address the quarterback situation because I don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy. Toxic Falcons, what's up, my dude? Welcome to the chat. Toxic Falcons says, need the Eagles in Washington to lose games now. Well, unfortunately for you, they play each other this week. And the Eagles, I'm predicting to win because the Washington football team have run into COVID issues, quite a big one, going into this week's game. They've got like 7 to 12 players like not going to play. Like Kendall Fuller is not going to play. Is it Kendall or Kyle? Can never remember. Can never remember them apart. One of their starting linebackers is going to be down, so their rookie linebacker is going to be up. Jamin Davis, Kyle Fuller. Toxic Falcon says Kyle Fuller. That's what I thought. Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle's the better one. So I'm happy about that. Obviously, I'm hoping that Devontae Smith has a big day. You're just joining in, so I kind of covered a lot already, but Jalen Hurts is questionable for the game, which is crazy. Gardner Minshew might go again this week. Nick Sirianni, head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, is kind of saying the same things that he was saying leading into the New York Jets game, where he's like, well, I'm not going to know until game day, sort of thing. So it's starting to make me think that Jalen Hurts might not go, which is interesting. Which is definitely interesting. Toxic Falcons says people will say the 49ers will win, but I got the Falcons winning 24-17. I'll take your Falcons. I've been good. I've been behind your Falcons. I've been behind your Falcons for the last 3 weeks, and I don't want to stop now. So I'm going to take your Falcons. I'm going to take your Falcons in that game. I want to say that they beat the 49ers. And then obviously we have New England and Indy. I would love to see Carson Wentz hand the Patriots their first loss in quite a while. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to take that. I'm going to actually take that and roll with that. Toxic Falcon says I got the Eagles winning. Yeah, I think that they're going to put up points regardless of whichever quarterback plays, honestly. I think my thing is I don't mind that Gardner Minshew might go. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I kind of wanted to see Jalen Hurts go just because I'm getting impatient of wondering who is this guy. You know what I mean? Because the overall thought was if Jalen is struggling, going into the second half against Washington, then they're probably going to pull him. And so I kind of wanted to see what Jalen was going to do against Washington because it's a big game. It's a big game. The stakes are high, all things included. Tox Falcon says you play the Pats. Damn. We don't play the Pats. The Eagles don't play the Pats. Colts play the Pats. But I think Carson Wentz. I think Carson and that offense is gonna hand them their first loss in what, like 7 weeks, 6 weeks. I have faith in Frank Reich. See, Frank Reich knows how to beat Bill Belichick. And we know that because they beat the Eagles won the Super Bowl with Frank Reich as the offensive coordinator. Tox Falcon says they aren't good, to be honest. Who's not good? Tox Falcon says Mac Jones doesn't have an arm. Oh, the Patriots. You still don't like Mac Jones? I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback. And I think he's going to get better. I mean, he's still a rookie, and he's doing good. Give the guy a break. Give the guy a break. Tox Falcon says, wait, who do the Eagles play next? The Eagles play the Washington football team. The Eagles play the Washington football team. So I think there's a possibility that we could beat the brakes off of Washington. Especially with all the stuff that they're going through right now. But it depends. Depends. Just depends. Depends on which quarterback plays, I guess. Honestly, with either of our quarterbacks, I don't know. Because it's only been one game with Gardner Minshew, and so there's nothing else to compare it to. And then with Jalen, just his last game was the New York Giants game, and that was so god awful that I can't. I can't Toxic Falcon says, I think Trevor Lawrence might get a break now. That's right. They did just fire Urban Meyer. Jacksonville Jaguars did fire Urban Meyer. Yeah, I think so too. My thoughts on Urban Meyer, I think it's about damn time. They should have done it. Like 5-6 weeks ago. You know what I mean? I remember Patty J in the offseason thought that was going to be a good pairing. But in his defense too, he also mentioned it's going to be interesting to see how Urban Meyer does coming out of retirement and how he acclimates to NFL life. And yeah, he just didn't acclimate well. It doesn't seem like he was ready to come out of retirement with him and the girls and things like that. So Toxic Falcon says, do you think he is an ass? Urban Meyer? Why? Did he say something? Did he say something that I missed? What was his response to getting fired? Oh, he was trashing his staff. Yeah, I think he's an ass. Yeah, if he was trashing his staff, I think he's an ass. Look, here's what I have to say about that topic. Like, I mean, even if, and kind of everybody in the workplace can kind of relate to this. Even if there's a problem and something goes wrong and it's not necessarily your fault, it's more so somebody else's fault. You don't kind of be like, you don't go out and you don't kind of you don't go out and blast that person, publicly by name. You know what I mean? Like you just don't do that. I mean, it's not respectable. So I disagree. I disagree. I mean, here's the thing. He was doing his own shit, and it was public. It was public that he wasn't being the best head coach that he could be. So take responsibility for your actions, my friend. Take responsibility for your actions. Don't go out and, trash others. Tox Falcon says, and I believe he put his hands on a player. Yeah, you should never do that. You should never do that. Look, these are grown men, you got to respect them. These are grown men. I mean, plain and simple. I don't know the full story. So like I'll look into it and I'll go over it, and then when we do another stream, probably tomorrow or Saturday or something, I'll definitely address it and talk about it. Toxic Falcon says, I mean, he drafted a running back in the first round. Come on. No. No, he didn't. He drafted Trevor Lawrence, and Travis Etienne was the first pick in the second round. But that's okay. I have nothing to say about. I have nothing to say about Urban Meyer at the end of the day. Like, I think he should have been fired weeks and weeks ago. I wasn't totally sold on the idea. I wasn't totally sold on the idea from the get-go. I do believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars should have went with Trevor Lawrence, even if they didn't hire Urban Meyer. So, no, I think that they just had the first. Tox Falcon says, "Oh, I thought they had 2 first-round draft picks." No, I think they just had the one, and then Travis Etienne was taken at 33. I believe. I believe that's right. But I'll tell you, some of these Philly fans get way too caught up in conspiracy theories. Like a recent post was this, right? I find it odd that Jalen Hurts could play 2 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden he can't. First off, Jalen Hurts had the ankle injury 2 weeks ago, and the only person, the post says, find it hard to believe they thought Hurts could play 2 weeks ago, but now he can't. First off, the only person that said that he's going to play Sunday 2 weeks ago was Jalen Hurts. Nobody actually said that he was going to play 2 Sundays ago against the Jets. So, and the truth of the matter is that they never honestly know until game day. It depends on how the player's feeling. So, and also they haven't made a ruling yet as to whether or not he's going to go against the Washington football team. Toxic Falcon says the Eagles have 3 first-rounders. You should be happy. Oh yeah, no, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. I'll be happy if they make the right moves. I'm gonna have my eyes on Kenny Pickett, honestly. So I think that's the part that you missed. I think right before you came on, I was talking about Kenny Pickett. I feel good about Kenny Pickett. I felt good about Josh Allen after his rookie season, which a lot of people did not. A lot of people were feeling finicky about Josh Allen because they said he was streaky after his rookie season because he had 56% completion percentage, things like that. But I saw a guy who was, accurate when he was decisive. I saw a guy who moved around in the pocket really well, through a guy who had a rocket for an arm, and lo and behold, I was right. So, and I feel pretty good about Kenny Pickett. I mean, he was a runner-up for the Heisman, and And I think he's got a bright future. I see a lot of positive things from Kenny Pickett. And he's going to have a ton of opportunities to improve himself between now and the draft. So. Docs Falcon says, have people had a change of mind since Minshew played Sunday? I don't think people have had a change of mind since Minshew played. I think fans were one. Here's the thing: is Eagles fans were elated to see a quarterback actually be able to operate the passing game successfully for the first time all season long since we played your Falcons, toxic Falcons. So that was a plus. And so there was a mixed bag, and there still is a mixed bag. Some people want Minshew to start the rest of the season. Some people, want to go back to Hurts. But it has started to calm down a little bit. It's like, it does make sense for Hurts to finish out the rest of the season because it is his year, but again, like, it's like, we don't necessarily see Minshew as a franchise guy. None of the fans actually see Minshew as the franchise guy. We just see him as a quality back, as like a really good quality backup. And that's what he was. That's what he came in and did. He was a good quality backup that came in and operated the passing offense successfully. So he looked like a starter for a game. That's the thing. But my thing is, and I think I said this right before you came on too, is I've made up my mind. We're going into week 15. I've seen everything that I'm pretty sure I've seen everything that I need to see from Jalen Hurts, and I'm just gonna come out and say it, because just for your guys' sake, like, and it's good. We can discuss it from here moving forward with future streams and things like that. But I'm off the Jalen Hurts train. I don't see him as a starter moving forward. And if he magically turns his passing game around, in the future, then you can tell me I'm wrong. But I just don't think the franchise guy is on the team. Just don't. And I mean, there's a reason why Howie Roseman scouted Kenny Pickett, went to go watch Kenny Pickett, at that game. So with his binoculars, with his big old tiny binocular or big old binoculars, you know what I mean? So Tox Valka says, you want a QB? Yeah. I want a QB who fits the profile. I want a QB who fits the profile, who I have faith in, who I believe in, who I think has, leadership intangibles and all the intangibles. And I think, for me, I see that in Kenny Pickett. All the other guys are still up in the air for me, but if there's one quarterback, I mean, and I get it. I think the general public, has is right about the draft class to a certain extent, but I think Kenny Pickett is honestly separating himself from the rest of the quarterback prospects, because he's moving in the right direction. So I think that there's going to be some positives there. He has more to, he's building, and he has more opportunities to improve. So, and I think he's being underrated. I think he's being underrated because the general public is lumping him in with a quarterback draft class that is widely viewed as average comparatively to other years. Toxic Falcon says, I actually heard Panthers fans want Minshew, but it might just be a rumor. It might be true. It might be true. There may be truth to that. There were rumors that I did see, I think it was over the weekend, that Gardner Minshew is going to be a hot quarterback topic when it comes to the offseason as far as trades are concerned. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that all pans out. My friend. But Talks Falcons, I thank you so much for joining into the stream. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday, and I hope you have a beautiful evening. I will be back on with you either tomorrow or Saturday. I will let you know which day. One love. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Go Birds, baby.